on and start it up. But right now they're in place, they're secure, and they're not broken. And this side of the guard, right, the overhead guard, again, a couple of little scratches here and there, but nothing an overhead guard can't handle. So this looks good as a structure. It's very sound. Okay, no bends or cracks or anything like that. While I'm here, let's have a look at the capacity plate and just a few things that we talked about in the classroom. Okay, now we can see by this plate, this is a very nice, clear, simple plate. You can see here we have the model number of the unit, the serial number, which is going to come in handy for your maintenance people if they're ever ordering parts or that type of thing. It is a liquid propane fuel truck, so it's LP. The truck weight, look at that. This little thing weighs 8,720 pounds. Unbelievable. Now, it says capacity of a standard truck with simplex masts and forks, 5,000 pounds, a 24-inch load center with the maximum height of 130 rated capacity with optional mast and or attachment listed below. Well, it does have an optional mast, and you can see it's got a lot more than 130 inches of lift. It's got 188 inches of lift. Right? This is now a 3-stage mast, still a 24-inch standard load center, but look at this, 4,400 pounds. It's downrated from 5,000 up here because of the mast. And then if you look with the attachment, which is a side shift, right? That side shift is listed up here. I'm sorry, that's the weight. With the side shift, sorry, there's the side shift listed down there, the model number. It's down to 3,700 pounds with the side shift. So this truck started out at 5,000 pound capacity, but because of the extra high lift mast and the side shift attachment, it's down to 3,700 pounds, 1,300 pound deduction. And like we spoke about in the class, you can see that this model meets design specs of ANSI B56.1. Now we're past the plate and we've looked at the overhead guard on this side. We're coming to the back of the truck now where we're going to check the rear steer tire. Again, our sidewall, tread condition, lugs, studs, that type of thing. I like to look in behind the steer wheels, okay, to see if there's any debris caught up in there. And I also like to take a good look at those hydraulic steering cylinders because they get used. They go in and out a lot. So that seal does wear and you do get leakage out of there, so you got to keep an eye on that. You see anything wetness back there or any drips, that's definitely a machine that should be sidelined and repaired. Coming up to the propane cylinder here, first of all, we want to make sure that the primary shutoff valve is on because we're going to be using it. The locator pin here is where it should be. I'm going to read my liquid level, my fuel level, and since this tank is mounted horizontally, I'm going to read the top horizontal gauge, and that tells me that it's just below a half tank, so I got lots of fuel. Again, I don't smell any propane, I don't hear any hissing, I don't see any cloud or frost on the fittings that might indicate there's a leak. I think this is pretty good to go, and it's good and sturdy in its clamps here, and that's really all I want to do with the propane cylinder. Now I'm looking at the counterweight back here. Not a heck of a lot can go wrong with the counterweight. It's just a big piece of metal that weighs a lot. However, it is held on by a couple of bolts down here, you can see. I like to reach in there and make sure if I can turn these bolts with my hand, something's wrong. Right? So I just want to make sure they're there and they're tight. And they are. So again, they just hold the counterweight in place. They don't actually support the weight of it. So if they are missing, the counterweight could move on you, and that would be a really bad situation. This is a tow pin. This is in place to tow things. People can hook onto you to pull you out of somewhere where you might have gotten where you don't want to be, or you can hook on to other people and pull them out. So in any case, you should have your tow pin in there, and that's what it's for. While I'm down here, I'm just looking in the radiator exhaust area here for any kind of debris. I can see the radiator from here. It's not all clogged with garbage. I can see the muffler as well, and I don't see any particular buildup of debris or anything that makes me think anything's wrong. All right, coming up, we're going to look at the lights on the back of the guard here. Our brake lights and backup lights, and everything's in good condition there. The lenses are all in piece, they're not all cracked and that type of thing. And like I say, we'll check to see that they actually work a little later when I hop up there and start her up. Okay, on to the back end of the machine here. Our last tire to look at. Tire condition, sidewall, lugs and studs, in behind. Okay, we've got our cylinder, steering cylinder there. And again, it's just no debris or leakage back there. Just make note, there's a pretty significant chunk of tire missing there, so we'll make note of that. Okay, that brings me back to where we started. So before I hop into the seat, I want to check another very, very important component, and that's the engine. All right, there's a few things that we need to look at. On this particular model, I have to get the seat out of the way, right before I can tip up the hood. There's the latch here. It's different for all forklifts, but on this particular one, that's all there is to it. So right off the bat, what I'm looking for here is, again, debris, all right? Sawdust, shrink wrap, strapping, plastic, paper that gets sucked up. The radiator of the fan on a forklift is a little different, and it actually blows air out, whereas an automotive fan sucks air in through the radiator. So it does pick up a lot of debris off the ground. Generally all the cabling, wires, spark plug leads, the hosing, the belts, right, everything's in place. Nothing's swollen or leaking or hanging off or anything like that. The battery over there is clamped down as it should be on a forklift. The terminals are clean and tight as they should be. I'm just going to pull the oil dipstick out rather.